There you go. All right. As we pour in the numbers, first thing is, I want to welcome everybody, the Dallas team, also for hosting this event. Thank years for you up close and personal. You're going to get to know him really well. So before we get started, I got the meeting Dr. Stan Pierce when I was merely starting as a Nutrametrix consultant. When I asked him if I could come down to Tampa to see his practice, he immediately said yes. And I booked a flight down to go visit him. He had such an amazing practice that really gives a new Nutrametrix consultant an eye opener of how a practice should be, and even sat down with a Nutrametrix consultant. For those of you who don't know what Nutrametrix is, it's a division of Shop.com, Market America, that works with health professional. So that's how I begin my journey and met Dr. Pierce. Was so and so accommodative, and he has been proven sweet. He is very sweet. If you got to know him, he's funny too. But all in all, I have to say he is a director with our company, meaning he has created a team income of 18 to 25,000 in a 4 weeks. However, he is also the number one and top producer in Nutrametrix, annualizing basically product movements of 200,000 over $200,000. Multiple Chairman Challenge winner in both Nutrametrix and business building. So he not only know how to build the medical side, he also knows how us, the field, has in build business builder builds. And that's why he's really well sought after. And he's also a multiple unfranchised UFO achiever. And that's a standard that our company set to see that you're following the system. Now he's a fourth generation chiropractor, very fluent in English and Spanish. He has, although he looks young, but he has 25 years in private practice. So you could see here in Dubai, Healthcare City, in so many different places. Now, look at his achievement here. Gosh, I thought he may be 100 years old, but wow. 2020 Chiropractor of the Year by Sherman College. And you can read that International Association Council, Veteran Affairs, in 2021 Chiropractic of the Year. Also, he is a Chiropractic 2022 by NFL Alumni Association Collegiate. Wow. Doc, I mean, publication you see he's done many publications that you've seen here. Publish, you can read the screen. I'm not going to talk about it. He is also an inventor and patent spinal and was franchised by Shark Tank. Is still in revision, and other accomplishments that you see there. I have to say, met Dr. Stan Pierce and visiting his practice, he don't look like a chiropractor to me because he doesn't have the typical chiropractic equipment. He considered himself an apociphical doctor working on spinal engineering. So, Doc, I'd like you to take it from here as far as your practice. I find it really unique. I still remember you having me put my finger down this machine, and you asked me, "Do you feel anything?" And I was looking at you, going like, "What am I supposed to feel?" So would you tell us a little bit about uniqueness? And we're excited because you're setting up a practice in Allen, Texas. For those of you that like to visit Dr. Stan Pierce, make sure you call. He does have a practice in Allen, Texas. So would you tell us a little bit about it and how you're unique? And what is it between yourself and a chiropractic practice?
Well, thank you guys for having me on here. This is so much fun to be able to just share with you guys, encourage you in any way I can. And yeah, our Allen, Texas clinic is already up and running. So it's not that we're setting it up, it's already set up and it's doing great. So our headquarters is in Clearwater, Florida. That's where I practice mostly. And then we have been in Dubai Healthcare City. We've installed our technology over there before as well. So my background, I just love taking care of people. I love people to get the best results possible. For me, it's all about results. always. Whatever we have to do to drive into the future and create better results for people, that's what we're doing. So what I've done is created a sound wave technology patented machine that can pivot on certain axes and has laser targeting. And ultimately, it aligns the spine with a single non-invasive, non-surgical sound wave. So with a single sound impulse, it instantly realigns the head and neck relationship, and that opens up blood flow transitions to and from the brain. So the brains can start to heal, when people are suffering with migraines and dizziness and seizures, or when it gets to the serious stuff, the Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Lou Gehrig's, dementia. People need better blood flow to and from their brain. And so aligning the upper neck to enhance blood flow makes a lot of sense. And that's why the concussion syndrome of the NFL responds so well to what we do. And that's why people who have children who have a hard time focusing, or if your memory's been starting to drift away, or if you have like this fog that you're having a harder time thinking through. Yeah, anytime you open up the blood flow to the brain and you can keep it open by keeping the alignment the way it's supposed to be, it does so much better. So that's what I do. I teach it in colleges. I'm actually here in South Carolina at the moment. I'm going to be joining quite a few doctors and students here tomorrow, and I'm going to be teaching them a brain health class tomorrow, and then we're teaching them the epic spinal care procedure I developed all weekend. So, yep, that's what we do. We teach it, we disseminate it, we scale it out, we help more people, and we create the future.
Perfect. So here's a question for you. How did shop.com Market America fall into your path? Just to see what got you, how did it happen, and what, got you involved with us?
That's a good question. It's been 18 years. 18 years. I've got a kid
That
who's 18.
long.
I got a son who's 18 years old. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I didn't realize how long it had been. But I wasn't looking for this. I was taking care of my patients. I was getting what I considered to be great results. But there's always this 3-word phrase that whenever the Epic doctors and I are training together, we always make this phrase that says, compared to what? When one chiropractor says they get great adjustments, well, compared to what? And so in Epic, we're always trying to get the absolute best adjustments, the best outcomes that will stay in place and hold longer. And so I didn't know that my patients could get better results. They were doing good as far as I could tell. But there was a Nutrametrix consultant, which was a MarketAmericaShop.com distributor who had taken the training to be able to know how to approach physicians and implement systems for succeeding in health professional offices. And there was one of these consultants had approached our clinic. They knew my parents. My parents had owned the building and the practice, and I had my own practice inside of that. And so they kind of used their warm relationship with my parents to ask if they could come in and pitch us this new thing. And I was the most skeptical. This is the funny part. I was the one who didn't want to do it. I didn't want to sit in on the meeting. I was busy. We were doing good. But I heard about isotonics and I heard about customization. And I was like, all right, I'll give them 5 minutes. And then what's funny is as the other doctors sat in for the meeting, the other doctors kept leaving. Like one by one, they kind of kept checking out of the meeting. I didn't. I actually stayed there and I actually spent over an hour grilling them on questions. And they had answers to some of them, but not a lot of them. They were newer. And but it's okay because I could tell there was something there. And so I just kept diving deeper and deeper into the possibility of increased absorption for the supplements and the potential that could help my patients get better outcomes. So that's how things started.
Wow, quite a journey. So, I mean, but you were exposed to so many product line being a chiropractor yourself. People come in always pitching you about products, right? What makes us stand out? I mean, given even the isotonics and the range that we have, why us?
Hmm. Well, I have a nutrition degree also. So I have a bachelor's in nutrition. And one of the things I remembered in the program was besides diets and the soils being depleted and people needing to supplement, supplementation these days has become a necessity, not a luxury. People used to always treat it like a luxury before, but it's not. But it's supposed to supplement a healthy diet. They're called supplements, it's supposed to just be a supplement. And yet people's diets got worse and worse, faster lifestyle, less attention to preparing food at home, more DoorDash, more Uber Eats, more just on the go, that people really, they need to supplement. And so one of the things about supplements is I always knew that the key about supplements was whether it was absorbable. And most supplements are very, very low absorption rate. So IV therapies being the highest absorption rate at 100%, you can take that IV solution in that bag and you can drip it right into the blood vessel. and it has 100% absorption. And the reason it can do that is because the fluid that's in that bag and the fluid of your blood plasma are the same pressure, called isotonic, equal pressure. So when I heard that you could take a liquid isotonic like that IV bag and you could drink it, and it doesn't taste nasty, but you could drink it and it doesn't require digestion, I was very intrigued by this. Because if no digestion is required and it can deliver right to the small intestines and absorb faster, we got a better shot at outcomes. Because then you get into the sublinguals, the gel capsules, and then the tablets that absorb the worst. And I just knew that if it was possible to help people absorb better, then they could have better results. And I'm all about that. So the isotonics is really what got me most intrigued with the company's line. And then I personally started using them, and I had all kinds of results from them. And that surprised me. I thought I was pretty healthy. I was playing soccer and I was taking care of patients. I was in pretty good shape. And I really felt the effect of the isotonics once I started taking it. And that helped me to understand the potential. But then what I did was I opened up my account with this company and I ordered the bare minimum product order, like bare minimum. And just to get my account opened. And I remember within like 4 days, I contacted the Nutrametrix consultant. I'm like, hey, I have a problem. She's like, what's that? I go, I'm out of product. She goes, really? I go, yeah. What do I do? And she goes, order more? Oh yeah, we should do that. We should order more. And I had the hardest time like timing the orders, because once people started using them, word kind of got out a little bit in my practice, and then the reorders started happening, which was fascinating because people don't usually reorder unless it's actually working. So the reorders kicked in and it got busier and busier. We sold $115,000 of isotonics in the first year with Market America. We'd only sold like 7,000. We only sold the previous year. We'd only sold like $7,500 total that whole year. In our first year with isotonics, game changer. But it was hard for me to time the orders to not run out. I kept running out. It was cool. Good problem to
have. Definitely. So would I understand that because the products start working, your patients started seeing the difference? That's the reason why the order started happening?
Yeah, they would feel the difference. And then what else is really, most physicians don't really think about this, but the number one thing that will cause a patient to send more patients to you, like refer you new patients, is just better results. And it's a matter of how much better the results are and how much faster they get to those results. So I did notice that there was an increase in the new patient numbers also from referrals, because patients, it's so funny is doctors always want to claim what it is that gets people well and then try to convince the patient of it. But here's the thing, patients don't even care what gets them well. They just care that they get well. So when we fixed the physical alignment extremely accurately and open up the blood flow channels and the nerve flow channels, and we can document that scientifically to make sure we've done our job extremely well, and it starts to hold. Well, when you then infuse the right nutrients into the bloodstream and it starts to get to the cells, man, people heal faster. And a malnourished, dehydrated, sedentary patient is never going to heal as quickly as a well-nourished, well-hydrated, active patient. So yeah, our results went up and therefore our business grew.
Wow. So here's a question, because many health professionals or chiropractors that look into nutrition or supplementation, they have a perspective nature of it. What's your perspective in terms of using supplementation? Some are gun shy, natural way. They want to eat well, or they don't believe in supplementation. Some chiro believe in supplementation, many a lot, but herbal wise rather than the isotonic form or sugar in the isotonics. What's your take? Looking at that, what's your take on supplementation? Being that a doctor that uses it, in that perspective.
There's a lot in that question, so I'll try to hit different points that would be relevant. I think it's always funny when people say, I don't believe in chiropractic. I mean, I call myself a spinal engineer anyway, an upper cervical doctor, but I am under the chiropractic umbrella. And if somebody says, I don't believe in chiropractic, and I'll go, well, you want to like touch me and see that I'm real? Because whether you choose to believe in something or not, if it exists, it exists. So what they actually are meaning when they say, I don't believe in supplementation, they're saying, I don't know that it makes a difference. That's what they're actually saying. What I have found personally is that, okay, the word doctor, there's a little cycle I'm going to go through with you on this based upon your question. So the word doctor means teacher. Most people don't know that, but the doctor's first job is educate the patient. Most doctors don't really educate the patient very well at all. I think it's sometimes because patients want to know what's causing my problem. Often doctors don't get to the root cause. I think that doctors often aren't taught enough about nutrition and supplementation to be able to then teach the patient. So, and then frankly, I think there's some doctors that just don't care. Like they're just running you through the system. They get your diagnosis code, they throw you your medicine, see you next time. Whatever's the reason, here's the frustrating part. If nobody ever teaches you how you got yourself into the healthcare predicament you got into, then you could never get yourself out of it and stay out of it. So I think sometimes doctors don't educate the patient because knowledge is power. And if I educate the patient, I'm going to turn the power over to them to be able to manage their recovery and not get in the situation again. And then you have some really unethical doctors that want the patient to stay sick because they're going to monetize that sickness rather than monetizing health. I'd much rather monetize health. People getting better and healthier and needing me less and less, they'll send me other people. So in regards to supplementation, like I said, I think some doctors don't know enough to educate the patient. I think sometimes they don't spend the time. Their business model is they're seeing people too fast and they're not slowing down to educate them. And then I think it's a control thing. I think some doctors might just be a little narcissistic or they just don't want to give the patient the knowledge. But here's what I do know with certainty. If you're seeing a patient, like let's say once a month, I can help that person when they're in my office by doing certain things to them and helping check things and fix things. But then I'm not going to see them for 29 or 30 days. The decisions they make during those 30 days are going to directly equate to the person I'm going to see in a month. They can change their health for the better a lot more with their day-to-day choices than they can one 15-minute visit in my office. Now, that 15-minute visit in my office is very important. Don't get me wrong. That alignment is key to health. But if you don't educate your patients by giving them healthcare homework so they can improve themselves in between visits, then you're really doing them a disservice. Because you can be working together as a team where the doctor fixes what the patient can't, but then educates the patient on what they can do to help themselves for the next 30 days before I see you. I want patients to heal themselves. I want them to get out of the situation, to have their brains open up, to age gracefully, love life, enjoy it. But it requires patient education. And I think a lot of doctors just aren't doing that good enough.
Wow, quite an answer right there. So let's skip ahead a little bit. Being a doctor, a lot of the Nutrametrix doctor just stay with their practice. What got you interested in really want to expand that distribution? And we know director's income is building a team. And what got you interested into building a business? And I know you make the chairman challenge and master UFO. You're like one of us. You're a doctor, but yet you're one of us. So how's that got you into this side, the other side of the spectrum, and why?
It's very, very easy answer. So if I could help a few people, or if I could help a ton of people, why wouldn't I pick a ton of people? I mean, why would I only want to help a few? So inside my practice, for example, if I have great technology, great results, great healthcare homework I give patients, and I'm succeeding with the Epic spinal technology and with the Nutrametrix supplements, and if I'm succeeding in my practice, fantastic. But I'm helping a small group of people. Some doctors like to say, I'm changing the world, I'm saving the world. No, you're not. You're not changing the world. You're not changing your country. You're not changing your state, nor your county. You might be impacting your city a little bit. But changing the world, you have to scale out in order to help more people. And I have that vision and passion to help save as many people as we can. So when I know something works well in my practice, like the technology we use for brain health and opening up the alignment so the back can untwist and all of that, when I know that's duplicatable and I can teach that, that's why I'm up here in South Carolina right now. I'm going to teach a whole bunch of them this weekend on ways they can get better at doing that. So if I know that isotonics absorbs better and get better outcomes, why would I not share that with every other health professional willing to listen so they can decide if they want to onboard that and help their patients at a higher level too? I want to help more people, so I have to build this business. That's literally it. Is it for the money? No. Is the money a nice side effect? Sure. But I want to have more testimonies, more people getting well, and see if we really might be able to leave a mark with the limited years we've got to live this life.
Amazing. So how moving in that direction that, then I mean, why hit the chairman's challenge or why signify master UFO? You could personally ignore it and just go ahead and help people, but why hit those challenge?
That's a really good question. Couple reasons. One, I'm competitive. It's just fun to have targets and hit them. Number two, the challenges are there to help encourage you towards consistency of expanding and making your business grow. It's a 45-year plan of typical jobs versus a 2 to 3 year plan of building this residual income stream. That 2 to 3 year plan is a great plan, and if you do the right things, you got a good shot at getting to that residual income freedom that you're looking for. So if you consistently are setting those goals and hitting those challenges, it's going to naturally grow your business. And then third, they started the new program last summer where they're willing to pay double checks for you hitting master UFO. So they upped the game, they upped the challenge, they upped the reward, and why wouldn't I go after it? I mean, help more people and generate more revenues that can support me expanding Epic even further.
Awesome. So when you look at it, looking back and looking at it now, how has being in the business and how has being part of this Market America family or Shop.com family impacted your life and the direction that you are right now and that you're in?
Yeah, that's a good question. Life is, I'm going to say this kind of weirdly, but life is heavy. Life is really heavy, whether it's with family members passing away, loved ones passing away, pets passing away, taxes being what they are, politics, wars, people being at each other's throats. I mean, life is just heavy. It's very rare you find people these days that are optimistic, people who are trying to build and expand. Instead, they're kind of complaining and trying to make others wrong. And I get so tired of that. To have found a group of entrepreneurs with great intentions, even willing to help others that aren't even financially connected to them, to have found a company that is progressively innovating and expanding and growing, to be able to have a very fair and successful and achievable business model of compensation for your efforts. And Market America is a solid place to be. It's one of those uplifting places when you go to the conferences and you just get to be around fellow entrepreneurs who are ethical and they're doing good things and they're all telling the testimonies of the people they've been helping, and we're excited. We're happy to see each other. You got to have some places you go to where you can have that. Church is supposed to be one of those places you go to weekly to try to find some of that encouragement. Well, when it comes to business, when it comes to healthcare, it comes to us just helping each other grow and be better. I love Market America. I love going to the events. I love being part of this community, and I do whatever I can to help encourage you guys, like this call, for example.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to the event that's coming up, which is on the 20th of March. We'll be having Dr. Stan Pierce for us to do a business building seminar. He's going to start from 9:30 to 10:30 to share the business overview. And from noon to 5:30, we get all Dr. Pierce through to ourselves. So let's talk about moving forward for this training here. What will you be talking about, and what will you be bringing? Just a little glimpse of what we're going to be expecting.
It's going to be so information packed. So I've been blessed. I've been taught a lot of things, communication being one of them. And so I'll be embedding a full communication course inside this so that we can start to all figure out how we're communicating wrong. Even with good ethics, we often are communicating totally wrong. We fix that at the training. Fixing that starts to help you understand how to actually build relationships with customers, build relationships with business partners, how to kind of filter through and know how to recruit people you want to work with. Communication will directly equate to connecting with customers and being able to close sales, which will directly equate to every element of your unfranchise growing. And it also will enhance your relationships in life. I promise you'll be very surprised by this. We're going to go over products. I'm going to go over a lot of differentiators of these products and how you communicate them in a user-friendly way. to get people to take action, because choosing healthcare is not a logical choice. It's an emotional choice. People don't know that. They always think it's logic. But if it was logically, we would drink hardly anything but water, since we're 80% water. We would eat nothing but fruits and vegetables, maybe a little meat here and there, but we would eat nutrients galore. We'd farm our own food. We definitely wouldn't eat all the processed stuff and drink the stuff and eat the stuff that's bad for us, but we do it all the time. But then as soon as you have a major health problem, then all of a sudden you want to start doing things better. The logic didn't change, but the emotions did. And we're going to show you how to push the emotional buttons in people to help encourage them to choose health, to make better choices, to give them hope. So a lot of those things are going to be going on at the seminar. And then in addition to that, we opened up for Q&A. And we also discuss prospecting and building business partners, prospecting health professionals. If you want to be able to evaluate practices and know how to pitch them, how do you market them and go in there and give them an option of a good approach they might want to say yes to. So I show you how you prospect people. I show you how to create a referral collaboration. That's very important. I even talk with the distributor base about how do you leverage health professionals currently in market America. Like, how do you leverage me? And there's ways you can do that where we can feed off of each other and cause growth in both of our businesses. It's really fascinating. So it's all in one day too. And you won't be the same. You really won't be the same.
I hope we won't be the same, but I know that the past couple we had you for our product call, and on the second part of it, you cover a little bit of marketing. I noticed one peculiar thing, you're very, very focused on communication and passionate about it. Tell me why that I've seen a lot of speakers spoke, but you're just very zero in that communication part. And it seems like a passion. So tell us a little bit why that you're so into that part of it.
I'll give you one small example. I'll give you a couple, actually. Here's a good one. Last relationship I was in, I somehow ticked her off. She was somehow really upset with me. I didn't know what I did, but she was upset. And so she was trying to explain it to me, and I was like, well, I'm sorry your feelings are hurt. And she goes, oh, my feelings just hurt themselves? I was like, okay. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. She goes, you're getting closer. She goes, let me try to help you here. She said, let's say your dog died, and I say to you, I'm sorry your dog died. I go, okay. She goes, or I say to you, I apologize that your dog died. And I was like, did you kill my dog? She goes, why'd you say it that way? I go, because I apologize is almost like you did it. She goes, correct. And I go, I apologize for hurting your feelings. And she goes, thank you. Simple word, the difference between I'm sorry and I apologize. Hugely different word. I'll give you another example. You say to your son who says he wants to go out with his friends that night. And you say, well, sure, you can go out to friends. Just make sure your room's clean. Okay. And maybe he thinks he's going to clean his room in 3 or 4 days. No. He needs to have his room clean in order to go. So far to say, well, if you want to go out with your friends, then you first need to clean your room. We all know that this is normal parenting, but sometimes we don't say it that way. And people misunderstand communication, and it really sabotages relationships big time with your distributors, with your customers, with your family members. So no, we have to solve communication right now. And you're going to find all those relationships change, and your business will skyrocket when you're communicating better.
And that was the reason why?
That's why. It literally will give you a chance at actually succeeding in life when you're a better communicator. I don't want you guys sabotaging your relationships at home, your marriages, you love and adore your kids, but the way you communicate, you're not able to figure out how to communicate better with them. And so we keep thinking they're the problem. Amazing. I had somebody once tell me there's no such thing as learning disabilities, only teaching disabilities.
Ooh, that is powerful.
Because how can some people learn how to communicate to special needs kids and get them to learn? Other people can't communicate to those same kids. Is it the learning disability that's the problem? No, it's the teaching disability. If your kids are running out of control, maybe you can do some things better.
Wow.
Maybe if you communicate it differently, they would do better.
I absolutely love your tagline when every time you walk in, or the lines that you give towards when you're approaching a health professional or you're approaching someone. That one caption that attracts you, that attention. I find that, how do you come up with that? Or is there lots of practice? Or, I mean, they're really good though, I have to say now.
Well, good. I hope they're not lousy. I
No,
mean,
absolutely not.
I've been practicing for 26 years. I've been instructing in chiropractic universities and doctorate programs for 12 years. I've been training doctors and students for almost 28 years, actually. Even when I was a student, I was teaching other students. So after a while, you'll hear this phrase that those who can do, but those who can't teach. Well, that's often true. People who failed in business then try to go teach instead of being successful in business. And so students and people end up learning recycled information that didn't work. I happen to be blessed enough to have been taught by people who are brilliant communicators, built brilliant, successful business people. I mean, hugely successful. I was just on the phone texting with the president of the Texas Senate. Senator Tam Parker was just messaging me from London literally half an hour ago. Like, I've been blessed to get around powerful and successful people, and they have just added and added and added to my life experience. So when I come and share that with you, and we talk about, I'll give you a small example. Communication has 3 different elements to it. It has philosophy, it has science, and it has art. The philosophy of communication. What's more important? What I say or what you hear?
Ooh,
What's more important?
what I
Some
hear.
people are destructive communicators, and they say, well, I speak my mind. I say what I say. You take it how you take it, but I'm going to say what I want. They're destructive communicators. We can inadvertently and accidentally be destructive communicators. I want you to become aware of it and not do that anymore. So we solve that.
I learned that from the business. Absolutely. It's sometimes we may deliver something, but the person that's listening captures something else to it. And it's really in aligning that communication.
Yeah.
In Asian culture, when we go through trainings, we always say that the training in our shop.com teaches how to become a better person. And I 100% agree with it. The ones that I started today and the who I turn out to be now, absolutely different. But I want to roll back into something that I just thought of. How would you address when being a health professional, many health professional, even myself, when I walked into some health professional practices, and they say, I don't need supplements and it's not important. What would you say to that?
If a patient's like, I don't need supplements, it doesn't matter.
The, the doctor
Oh,
saying
if the
that.
doctor says it.
The doctor saying that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's not as important and has the treatment that they're giving, whether it's chiro, allied health professional, or medical doctor. I hear it lesser in an allied health professional, but I hear it more on the medical side. But that's understandable. But what would you say if an allied health professional say that?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think when it comes to emergency care, like emergency life-saving care, I don't know that supplementation is very important. Like if somebody's having a heart attack and you've got to
No,
immediately react, like, so it depends on what kind of health professional you're talking about. In life-saving emergency care, screw the supplements. You might have to take medicines to try to save that person at that moment. But when it comes to
absolutely.
health care, well, that's totally different than emergency care. And if somebody says it doesn't, like, here's the question I always ask a chiropractor, for example. The same thing I mentioned before. Would a malnourished, dehydrated, sedentary patient who's not getting any sleep heal as quickly from your amazing adjustment as somebody who is well nourished, well hydrated, getting good sleep and exercising? Who's going to heal faster? And if they say it doesn't matter, that is a highly ignorant doctor, and I wouldn't waste my time on them.
Mm.
There's some
So why
arrogance,
so?
or there's something there's something there that's making them not receptive to considering that the patient's decisions matter. And patient, whatever I choose, my body, my choice, whatever I choose for my body, if I eat like crap, I'm going to have crappy health. If I eat fantastic, I'm going to have much better health, regardless of the other stuff a doctor is doing to me. So if a doctor doesn't want to inform their patient on things they can do to get better, I think sometimes those doctors just want them to stay sick. Subconsciously, I think they want the dependency. They want you to have to rely on them to do stuff to you. and they don't want to let you be in control of your health. And I think that's terrible. I think that's incredibly sad.
So moving forward right now, let's run this backwards and enough moving forwards. What has the business allow you to do that you would never, like, let's say in your life right now, what has it allow you to do that you
Spoke.
would never or thought of have done if you did not have shop.com?
I got to speak in front of 25,000 people on a main stage at a conference. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that was fun.
that's awesome.
You
And
definitely kicked butt on that one.
yeah, I have fun doing that kind of stuff. I mean, so it developed my ability to public speak. That's important. And now I teach. Oh, by the way, I'll be teaching that at the seminar too. If you guys ever have a chance to get on a stage somewhere, even if it's in front of 10 people, 100 people, I teach you methodology of how you make that a successful experience. Because a lot of you guys have fear of public speaking. We fix that too at the conference. By the way, it's not just a communication course. This whole thing we're going to be doing, because we're going to talk about the Market America business, the compensation plan, maximizing your commission checks. We talk about all that stuff too. But it's just that these things, like when you ask about what Market America has given to me, the opportunities, the stage is a bigger pulpit from which to preach a healthcare message. And so I'm very blessed to be part of that. I got to introduce a new product this past conference. That was fun. In the brain health space, I really enjoyed doing that. Connecting with other health professionals that I otherwise may not have met before. That's wonderful because we can learn from each other. And so being able to collaborate on cases or just offer each other's expertise is nice. And then, building residual income. I am working on things that can have a residual income to them, whether it's licensing or franchising or stuff like that. It can have a residual income. That's not why I do it, but it can. Now, Market America, by building and scaling out your Unfranchise, you 100% can have a residual income. And the benefit of that, and I think people miss this. I don't think a lot of people believe that it's possible to actually have money that's just coming in anyway. Because people are so oriented to, I have my hourly job, I clock in, I clock out, I get my paycheck. Or I have my sales job, I sell that one thing, I get commission, that's it. But something that is ongoing, where it keeps producing checks for you, it's very rare that you can find that in this lifetime. And Market America's system is the most fair mathematical system for being able to compensate you on an ongoing basis for work that you've been putting in. So what does that do for
I'm
you?
gonna
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to just ask you just a little bit to enhance being a doctor on supplemental income that we get on an ongoing basis. I want to ask you, you have many options that you could choose from, and yet you still include shop.com Market America on having this supplementing ongoing income.
Sure.
Why, with all the options that you can get, because you have multiple options, knowing as a health professional, so many options financially, you got so many options. Why shop.com? Why did you pick us too? Why did you include us as part of that portfolio?
I don't know how to make this more clear, and I'm not trying to be rude, but I did not pick Market America and shop.com. I picked patient outcomes.
Ah,
Market America's products, in my opinion, absorb the best, achieve the best results. So I picked Market America because I'm picking the products that are going to help my patients the most. There's a student at Sherman Chiropractic College, for example, and he started taking our digestive enzymes and some other things. And he told me when I saw him a month ago, he's like, oh my gosh, these products are so great. And it's really helped improve this part of my digestive system. I get to hear that all the time. That's why I do this. So I picked health for my patients. Market America provides the highest quality and effective supplements that give me the ability to change the patient's outcomes. That's why I love this company so much.
so you picked shop.com to build the supplementary income ongoingly because of your patient. Is that right?
I still picked it for the results. And the results were seriously, I mean, I do appreciate the commission checks. Please don't get me wrong. Everyone, when you have more income coming in, it helps in everything. And with that income, I've been able to do some really exciting, great things, really great things. I hired a researcher who was able to start helping me publish some things. I hired one of my patients, I hired them to become a consultant at my office and run the Nutrametrix division for me. So we've been able to do a lot of things with the money, but that's just a side effect of people getting great results. And then when you start to really know that's true, then you'll realize very quickly this is not selling. It's literally just helping people get to those freaking results. And people don't believe they can have them. This is why I don't ever have a problem selling, because I know I have the best chiropractic technique in the whole industry. It's the most effective thing, so I will preach it till I'm blue in the face. It'll be the last dying breath that I ever have. We'll be telling somebody about that. But I also know that we have access to the best supplement line to help patients have the fastest and most thorough recovery possible. So I'm going to continue to endorse that and promote that anywhere I can too.
Awesome. So what's your favorite product of all the products that we have? What's your favorite, Doc?
Oh my gosh.
Motis?
My gosh, there's so many of them. Let's see. I like OPC3's diversity because with it having so many different sizes and shapes of the antioxidants and bioflavonoids, it helps so many different things in the system that when people take it, you actually don't know how many things are about to wake up. It's pretty neat. So OPC's diversity is very amazing. They're, something as simple as their calcium complete product. It's a very thorough product. Has all 5 shapes of calcium plus all the minerals and the D3. So it's not like a calcium pill. It's a thorough formulation that helps bone density to have a chance to get stronger. I like the joint support formula, our prime joint formula. That's amazing. That's a 3-in-1 product. So it's got pycnogenol to decrease inflammation. It has hyaluronic acid to lubricate the joints so they move smoother. And then it has glucosamine derivatives to help strengthen the joint. So it's anti-inflammation, enhances mobility and smoothness of the joint, and then strengthens the cartilage and ligaments in there. That's a 3-in-1 product in liquid isotonic delivery. And it's only like 89 cents a serving. So yeah, I really like the prime joint formula. I use that a lot. The one that changed the one that made a big impact on me was our glucosatrin, because I was about to give up playing soccer. I played since I was like 5 years old. And I was about to give soccer up because my knees were just terribly unstable and it was embarrassing to be on the field. I started our glucosatrin, and within 2 weeks, my knees were completely strong. And I was cutting on that field, no more problems. And I kept playing for another 7 years after that. So that was a great
Wow.
product, glucosatrin. Yeah, I mean, I've got story after story after story with this stuff. I love that our omega-3 fish oils are actually protected from going rancid by having vitamin E in the capsule. Most people don't think about that. Most people think, no, I'm just taking fish oils. It must be good for me. Well, not if they're rancid.
Yeah, good point. If
I
you
just love that our company has great products, and they're always like,
agree.
nothing's done small in this company. Everything is like our curcumin product is curcumin extreme.
Ah,
Our calcium is calcium plus. I just love that we have the best, It's fun. And it's
well,
also
if
interesting
you're
too, because remember, I put my reputation behind every recommendation I make. And so you
understand.
have to know that you're dealing with great products. And this is the best.
So if you're lost on a deserted island, you're trapped in a deserted island, you can only pick one product, what would it be?
On a deserted island, I better use something that's gonna be blocking the sun for my skin.
You
Oh
get to
my
pick
gosh.
only one.
Uh I don't know that I can. I mean, I don't want to just throw something out there, but I mean, oh well, okay. I would say this. Every single cell of the body has a receptor for vitamin D3 and has a receptor for magnesium. So if you want to make your whole system be the most suppressed possible, be vitamin D3 or magnesium deficient. And if you want to pick the whole system up, vitamin D3 and magnesium will activate every cell. So maybe one of those two guys, at least so you get the biggest bang for your buck.
Well, I thought you would at least pick OPC3, but okay. Magnesium and vitamin D. So there you go, right there. If Dr. Stan Pierce is lost, I mean, trapped in a deserted island, remember to send him those.
Well, hey, based upon that, I wouldn't pick the D3 because if I'm on a desert island, I'm going to get plenty of sunlight. So I'd pick magnesium.
Okay, magnesium it is. Don't forget to send in magnesium. I'm going to open the floor right now for you guys to ask any questions that you want for Dr. Stan Pierce. Be nice and be kind. Okay, so type in uh, Q&A, question and answer, so that we can see it properly. And Richard's going to kind of look at it and read it out. Uh,
If you
if
guys
that you
can
have
put it under the question and answer and not in the chat.
right,
There's
because
two
it will
options.
lose, you will lose on the it will be lost in transition. So if you could put the question and answer on the Q&A, okay? Type in
And
your
she said
questions.
be nice, be kind. I will say be blunt, be skeptical,
Oof.
be direct. I don't mind. You will not offend me.
Oh, be careful. He dished it
Mhm.
out to you. No, I'm just kidding.
It's fine.
CT Miriam says this. How can we support cancer patient and diabetic? That's Dr. Miriam.
Dr. Miriam.
All right, so it's a really sensitive subject matter. Number one, my wife died of cancer 2 years ago, and it was not due to nutritional deficiencies. It was due to other reasons. So the second part about that, so this is real sensitive to me, obviously, even though I'm good, by the way, I'm good. But the second part about this is we don't treat cancer with our supplements. We're not, we, even if we thought we were, we still couldn't even say that. So we don't treat cancer. We are trying to encourage what's called apoptosis. Apoptosis means a cell that has mutated into an abnormal state needs to be killed off. Any of our supplements that encourage apoptosis would be the ones you would highly utilize to try to help your body fight abnormal cells. We won't use the C word. Also, when people are going through C treatments, cancer treatments, you want to have the best way to do it is try not to lose your health while fighting the cancer. And so a lot of times people are doing chemo and radiation and it's just clobbering their system. But one of the reasons they don't like people to use supplements when they're fighting cancer is because if the supplement strengthens cells, they have the oncologists have a weird mindset where they think that the supplements might negate the chemo. But really, the chemo is supposed to be targeting the cancer cells, not the healthy cells. But you just don't want the person to die from the treatments. You'd much rather them, fight with everything they've got. So, and apoptosis. That's all I'm going to say. Just anything you can find in our supplement line that encourages apoptosis. That's what you would lean on. But you got to deal with the
Mhm.
oncology team and letting them give permission. You don't want to be fighting against them. You need doctors collaborating, not fighting.
Absolutely.
Dr. Stan, would that be a resveratrol?
Resveratrol, curcumin extreme, bromelain. There's numerous ones that do it. If you type into the Copilot and ask it for which supplements in our line encourage apoptosis, maybe it'll give you a list.
Yeah. And Dr. Miriam is calling in from Singapore, actually. So next we have Ezra, who is an up
Actually,
and coming
Stephanie,
business builder.
Steph,
Huh? What?
Dr. Miriam still have one more question. Besides cancer, the other one is
Diabetes.
diabetic.
I couldn't hear that. What?
Diabetes.
Diabetes. I mean, we had Advanced Level 90 was a very effective product for that. OPC3 helps with cholesterol regulation and metabolism. So, but really the dietary decisions in our weight loss program in this company help you to learn how to regulate your sugars better with the foods you're taking in. And then I would really try to lean into the Go Trim line and see if you can start to improve your metabolism that way. Advanced Level 90 really was our go-to for so much of that, though.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Dr. Stan. Well, Ezra says, when are you coming to Malaysia?
Next year.
Next year,
As
okay. In
Dr. Stan is coming to Singapore next year, probably January.
All right. So that'll be
So
good to know.
If Malaysia wants to come, invite Dr. Stan, you have to act fast.
Yes, yes.
If Dr. Stan can go from Singapore to Malaysia, that'd be a good option. So it's in your hand, Ezra, to make it happen.
Work with iPing, okay? And then you guys can do a back to back. You want to read that, Richard?
Right. How do I get health professional to your local?
Good luck. I mean, I would love to tell you I'd love to tell you it's easy, but they're so, I mean, the first thing is they're going to say, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. And yeah, we are. But if your patients matter enough, you actually might try to go learn something new. So it's really going to be the ethical ones. But if you were to, at least with the local I'm doing for you, at least I have some credentialing and accolades that might make them interested in coming to hear me. And I don't like saying that. I'm not being cocky or whatever. I'm just literally trying to think, how do you leverage to get health professionals to a local? What I'm doing in Dallas on March 28th, that's a solid one. Here's the things that will happen for you, by the way. If you do happen to get one of your health professionals to come to that, and if you were to say, throw around, this guy's a spinal engineer, this guy has a national healthcare licensing program he's launching. He's been franchised by Shark Tank. He's a professor in universities. He published in medical journals. Like, throw that kind of stuff around, and it might make them more receptive to coming this time compared to like a normal local. They might come to this one. Secondly, if any of you got the smartest thing you can do, bring your customers. Bring your customers. I will sell so many products for you because they're going to learn about the products and they're going to learn it from a very user-friendly, educated platform. And with my credentials backing it, you're going to get a lot of sales by bringing your customers to the training. And it's very common that those customers start asking about being part of the business. So say, hey, the doctor's coming. He's a specialist in these products, and especially in wellness protocols. So you need to be there to hear what he has to say, and then we'll see how well that goes for you.
Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Melissa asked, best time to take keratin, and can it be mixed with other supplements? I think keratin is something very new.
I don't know the answer to that one.
Right. It's so new.
Yeah, I don't know
It's
the
a new
answer.
product.
I never want to answer something just, throwing something out there. I don't know the answer to that one.
Right.
Maybe
All right,
Copilot
Melissa.
or can help. Sorry, Melissa.
Okay, Phil, how do you help people who believe they do not need supplement because they eat healthy, and you have expressed that food nutrient values have decreased?
That's a really good question. There's this phrase in business that is you want to work with people who believe the way that you believe. Second part to that is you want to work with people that you like. So if somebody is adamant that they can get all of their food, all their nutrients through their food, then hopefully they're gardening their own foods. They're preparing the soils with the nutrients. They're rotating crops for not being monocultural, but having crossover nutrients from the different fruits and vegetables that they're harvesting. Hopefully that's the case. Here's the biggest thing that I look for with people. Remember that choosing healthcare is not logical. It's emotional, right? So if somebody is eating incredibly healthy and they are experiencing no health challenges of any kind whatsoever, they're probably not going to be a good candidate for wanting to supplement their diet. But if they're having a challenge of some kind, joint soreness, a knee that's degenerating, energy levels too low, fibromyalgia, if they have a health challenge, then the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome. So if they say, no, I'm getting all the nutrients I need in my diet, well, then why are you suffering? Oh, it's probably just something else. Yeah, something else, like maybe you need more nutrients. But hey, you know what? You keep doing you. If you're happy with the way your health is right now, then let's go grab a cup of coffee and talk about high school. I mean, it's just spend time, relationship build with them, because at some point they're going to get frustrated that their health is not optimum. And you want to have a good relationship with them and have them not feel threatened or torn down by you. That when the time is right, you want the warm opportunity to be able to have them come to you and say, hey, so tell me a little bit more about that again. I mean, if you've been a distributor in this company, it's happened to you, where somebody who said no for a while eventually asks you about it later. So, be patient with people.
People like to be sold, but not to. Well, people like to buy, but not to be sold, right?
Right.
There you go.
All right. Next one is by V. Nguyen. He said, I would like to ask if people have hit the plateau of weight loss, especially for women over 35 years old, what products would you recommend? Could you take Go Trim and Go Trim Thin and Slim together per day?
Go Trim Slim, Go Trim Thin, ACTS, Go Trim Core. That combination is a great combo because you have part of it is for metabolism improvement, part of it is for actual fat reduction, part of it is like Core, for example, is to block the conversion of good healthy foods into fat. And ACTS helps to regulate your cortisol and stress levels. Those four things together is a fantastic weight loss approach.
Awesome. Now, Joyce asked a question. What product can prevent or reverse osteoporosis? Besides calcium, vitamin D, collagen, ChatGPT also recommend omega-3. What is that rationale?
I don't know the rationale for omega-3 fish oils for bone density issues. I don't know the answer to that part. The other parts, though, I do know. Calcium by itself will not form bone density. It has to have the other minerals with it. So it forms a bone matrix. Only 10 to 15% of your dietary calcium is going to absorb from your digestive tract into your bloodstream without D3. So you've got to make sure your calcium product has enough D3 to make that absorb into the bloodstream. Once it's in the bloodstream, it then requires vitamin K2 to drive it into the bones. So often what happens is people will have low bone density. They're not taking our vitamin D3 with K2. They keep throwing more calcium into their system, trying to get it to go to the bones, but it can't without the K2. And they just add more and more minerals to their bloodstream, which creates more strain on their kidneys and liver. So if anybody's having osteoporosis, our main product for that is D3 with K2. Secondary to that is our calcium complete. Partner those together, you've got a really good shot at recovery, or at least stabilization.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Richard, let's take one more because of time. So, and then we can just leave it for the seminar.
Okay. So Sarah asked a question. Have any patient complained that the health omega-3 soft gel are too large to swallow? I think this is individual preferences.
Yeah.
Some people will chew it down.
Okay, yeah, there's a couple things you can do. First, so the question was if somebody's struggling to swallow our omegas. Our omega fish oils are large because they're very concentrated. It actually has the right amounts in it. So but if somebody does struggle to take those down, here's several options you can do. One is if you put a little bit of water in your mouth first, like go ahead and like drink just a little bit of water, and then put a little water in your mouth, put the 2 omegas in, and then put more water and drink them down. It'll kind of lubricate your esophagus to get that to go through. 2 is some people say if you freeze them, makes them go down easier. But I would think that would kind of feel like swallowing an ice cube. I don't know if that'd be that great. Another one, though, that's actually a really unknown one, but somebody showed me personally, was if you get your blood flow going, like do some jumping jacks, like jog, do some jumping jacks, that vasodilation of your esophagus will naturally happen from getting your blood flow going. So get your heart rate up, then go take your omegas. They'll go down easy.
Really?
You're vasodilating, yeah. So I mean, you still want to drink it. You still want to drink it down with water, but it'll do vasodilation. It makes it way easier to swallow those guys. And then the last one is if you still struggle, then puncture the omega fish oils and squeeze it in your smoothie. Puncture the capsule and squeeze it in your smoothie. That's it.
I have tried puncturing it. It's not that fishy though, the smell, surprisingly.
No, it's not too bad. Well, that's because ours is not that's because ours isn't rancid. That's the whole point.
They don't have that fishy smell that I thought they're gonna have, but nothing whatsoever. I was surprised.
If you order fish at a restaurant and as they're delivering it to you, it smells incredibly fishy, it's probably bad. You just testified to the purity of ours without even knowing you were doing that. It's not fishy because it's pure.
But I'm gonna try the jumping jack one. That is interesting. I've never done like
get your blood flow going, like really going, like where you're almost like breathing heavy, and then try it, see what happens.
Right.
Definitely. I'm gonna try that and see what happens in it.
Right. If a medical
Richard.
professional is open to supplement but have their own supply of supplement, how can we open them up to consider our products?
I couldn't understand the first part of that. Would you please repeat it?
Okay. Meaning this, if a medical professional has their own supplement line, right? But how can we open up to them to consider ours? Meaning they already carry a line. How
Yep.
do we go in to compete?
Well, one of the things that we'll be teaching you about with relationship building is never make people wrong. Nobody wants to be told they're wrong. So instead, you go in there, you compliment them, you compliment the line, and then you start looking for any gaps that might exist in what they want to achieve in their practice compared to what their limited line might access for them. One of the best things about marketamericaShop.com's supplement line is the diversity, the scale of it. It's monstrously big. So you can pick and choose things that you want to work with. Well, part of that might be filling the gaps of what the other line might not offer that health professional. A second part to it might be the ability to customize into custom cocktails to make things easier on their patients rather than having a bunch of bottles. That's a unique approach for somebody that might make them more interested in it. And then ultimately, you've got to at some point maybe touch on the absorption rate. But if you talk about how great the isotonic absorption is, then that they might even feel like you're making them wrong. So you got to be a little careful with that.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, guys. We're looking forward for the 28th of April, when the Dr. Stan Pierce, hopefully he doesn't bring the snow, touch wood. We have a joke in
Doctor,
Dallas because the last time Dr. Stan was here, it was snowing bad, and this time we had to change it to Zoom at the All Star. So we will have him front and center, all to ourselves, physically in Dallas, Texas. That we will have a local seminar that he Saturday, 28th of April. I put the name there. If you need tickets or so, please get with Richard. Thank you, Dr. Stan, for taking out your time, and
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate you sitting down with us and giving us this interview. You are amazing. And I do agree, you're one of the top health professional. You deserve everything that you had and the successes. And I'm really happy you're back in the field and helping all of us out, chugging it in there and pathing out the way for every one of us. So thank you
Well, you're
very
welcome.
much for being here. So thank
You're
you
welcome.
guys.
Hey,
Good
Stephanie,
night. And
Stephanie, real quick.
yes.
I got a couple of text messages while we're doing this call.
Okay, sure.
People ask me, they're like, what is the number for the Dallas, Texas location for the technology? So the phone
Yes.
number is 972-546-4318, 972-546-4318, for any of you guys that need to get that sound wave technology checked out and see if that can help you. Otherwise, I'll see you guys March 28th. Looking forward to it.
See you then. Thank
thank you
you.
so much, Dr. Tan. Thank you very much,
Thank
Dr. Tan.
you.
Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
See you
everyone.
soon. Get some rest.
See you much.